You know, we saw Lulu. It's going to be down sharply. What's going on there, Jim?
This was a very tough call from a very high-quality management.
Felix here, and I want to talk to you about a stock that's getting very, very popular on social media. Is it a dud or is it the next glorious big thing? The stock has tanked very significantly, and a lot of people are saying this is an amazing buy opportunity. I want to give you a little bit of my sort of former investment banker gloss and insights so you can make a better decision. And I've got some notes here to make this as coherent and as high value a video as possible for you. And I've also done one better for you. You can download my full research at felixfriends.org/lemon, felixfriends.org/lemon, like the orange yellow thing. And you can also come and join me live on Tuesday evening and learn how we made over 100% return on capital employed last year and the year before using a 3-step trading system that, in my opinion, anybody can do. We assume zero knowledge. Come and join me for a beginner's live trading at felixfriends.org/webinar. So what's the stock we're talking about? Well, it sells leggings. Lululemon, of course, it is what we're talking about. It's basically the company that clads single-handedly everybody in Vancouver. And look, it's got a strong brand. It's got a strong community. First time I went into the shop, I thought this is a bit creepy. This is a bit like a cult. They write your name on the door and then they kind of keep talking to you with using your first name, and it's all a bit weird. And it seems to be somebody's birthday here where I am in glorious Manila. But we're down something like 35% on the stock since December. And the business has let's have a look at it. What do they actually do? So they basically say we do innovative clothing for sports people, athleisure, and they pretend we have sort of a green side to it, and people kind of buy into that. Now, of course, in reality, making clothes out of polyester, which is essentially oil, leaches an absurd quantity of microfibers and microplastics into the sea and all that kind of stuff. It's a load of nonsense, but it's very, very well branded. I have Lululemon polo shirts, for example, myself, socks even, and they're pretty good quality. And really what it's all about is kind of lifestyle. There are free yoga classes and they have clubs in a lot of their larger stores, and it really builds this community element. But the question then is, well, how do they make money? What's the competition looking like? Well, they have this clever thing where they say, we run out of stuff quickly. We restock online every Tuesday. And the Lululemonati, or whatever you want to call them, the super fans, apparently are like, oh my God, it's going to run out. I won't be able to get it again. So they buy more stuff than they actually want to. And it's a very, very clever system. They sell about $6 billion worth of women's products, $2 billion men's product, and then about a $1.2 billion in sort of accessories. So it's a female brand here, right? I mean, that's what, 8-9 billion of that, probably 7 billion is a women's brand. So I think a lot of people say, oh, it's very well diversified and so on. It's largely a female leggings brand for people who want to wear stuff that's so incredibly tight, it leaves very little for the imagination. But apparently that's something people enjoy. I don't really follow, but I don't try to be biased. I mean, I own things like Philip Morris stock, and I can't see why anybody would ever want to smoke and kill themselves prematurely, but you make me money. So if you're doing it, maybe keep doing it. No, seriously, quit. Find a way to quit. Right. Revenue has grown since 2021 in the US by 27%, Canada 24%, China was a big grower, and then the rest of the world. Now, US growth in the whole sector, we've seen that also from Nike, is slowing down, and that's kind of what hit them fairly hard. They have, however, managed to keep their margins very, very well. And the stuff isn't cheap, right? I mean, a polo shirt's $100 US, which for a bit of polyester mix is quite a lot, and they don't actually change it very often. They sort of put the same thing out again and again and again and again, and people buy it for the brand. I would argue that quality's gone down over the years, and again, that's something you tend to see when brands get big, but sales have gone up, so people obviously like it, and the customer audience is pretty loyal. And I'll put a chart on the screen here for you that shows the sort of competitive advantage in terms of margins over time, because it's impressive. It's an impressively run business. I give you that. Now, the most important thing is really return on capital, right? How much money are they actually making on their money? And that's pretty high. And it allows them to essentially spend money on buybacks, buying back their own shares. It also allows them to expand internationally. So overall, is this a good business? I think as far as the athleisure sector goes, I think it's a very good business because they have a very strong brand and people are really, really obsessed with wearing their Lululemons. Is there competition? Sure, there is Ali Yoga and all those kind of brands coming out of the woodworks. Well, they've been around for 10 years too. And they're getting more mainstream and therefore they're eating a little bit of the pie. But the pie is growing, right? More and more women around the world want to walk around in some sort of weird spandex, essentially, which is probably going to grow because once something is big in the US, it tends to spread around the world in terms of fashion, right? Think of Levi's jeans or something. It tends to spread. And therefore, I think the pie overall will keep growing. I think they'll keep their market share. I think they'll keep their margins. I think they're doing a very, very good job with it. I think their online sales system is very impressive. Their cult status is very impressive. My only question is it better than Microsoft? And I know that's an unfair comparison point, but my question is, do you want to own a retailer? Because they have inventory, they got to make stuff somewhere in China or Bangladesh or wherever the heck these things are made, and they got to ship it. They got to have inventory in the right sizes, the right colors, ship it to all the stores, make sure the inventory is in all the stores at the right time, which of course is why the online model is better because you just have centralized warehouses, but you still need to have various warehouses. So is it a great business versus we've made a bit of average software that's on every computer in the world and everybody has to pay us whether they want to or not a monthly subscription and we actually have to deliver virtually nothing. To me, that's the better business. So I would just caution people, yes, stock looks more attractively valued now, looks like a good business, but I just don't love retail. I think retail is dying. I think retail is going to continue to die. Lululemon, because of the brand power, will probably be one of the companies that survives and moves more online, which of course is better for them. And the shops are realistically just a place for you to get to know it and try it and get indoctrinated. But they got to pay rent, man. Microsoft doesn't have to pay rent. You know what I mean? To make a sale. So I would rather put my extra dollars into something like a Microsoft rather than a Lululemon. Let me know what you make of that down below in the comments. Come and join me on Tuesday Live, learn how we make money. Give you my entire trading strategy. I hold nothing back. I give you the whole thing for free. felixrenzelog.com/webinar. I thank you for watching. I thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, share it with somebody who loves or loathes Lululemon, and I hope to see you on the next one. Winston and Felix here, and Winston just said to me, Felix, it's almost April. What stocks are we buying in April? And I thought, Winston, that's a genius idea.